Whoa, 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 whoa. Is it LAIV or is it live? LAIV or live? I'm not gonna reshoot. I'll correct it along the way. Are you sure? Is it not LAIV? Today we're gonna make history. It's my last DAC review. Maybe. Hi, I'm Bob, and you, my friends, are back in the United States of analog. How you doing out there? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Let me know where you're viewing from. I really am interested. I'm not trying to pander. By asking you that, it just does my heart good to know that I have international fans. And if I've got any fans in Milan, Italy, let me know. I'm going to the Springsteen show at the end of June, and maybe we could meet up and you could give me and my wife a ride to the arena. Never been in Milan, so maybe we could share a Peroni together or something. I think that's an Italian beer. Let me know. Hit me up. You can find my email address in the channel information. This is going to be a scary review to me because I'm going to reveal some things to you that, well, I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of how little I know about DACs, whether they be chip-based or R2R DACs. I just don't know a lot. And I'm not sure if I can hear the difference. They serve a purpose. But to be honest with you, I didn't even know that I needed a DAC until someone told me I needed a DAC. Until I started watching channels, kind of like my channel here, and guys like Randy and Andrew and Steve and all those guys were telling me I needed to get a DAC. But in my mind, a DAC, a digital to analog converter, is a lot like a phono preamp in the sense that a lot of times you don't need one. And I feel like it's more of a tool component, if that makes any sense. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. You know, in reality, you could set up a great hi-fi system in your home without Audi DAC. I call them Audi DAC. Got any DACs and Audi DACs. We'll talk about that in a little while. I don't mean to get all severance on you, but yeah, you got the ones that are built in and the separate ones like you're looking at here. The DAC we're going to look at in detail today is the LAIV Harmony, and for lack of a better word, I've been calling it the µDAC because it has that symbol. It's the mu symbol, M-U. And I think it means micro. I think it's Greek in the Greek alphabet. But what I did learn earlier today, if you want to type the mu symbol, it's lowercase m option key, and that will give you the symbol. It means micro, and I get it. This DAC from LAIV, the Harmony, we'll call it the micro, is very small, very, well, I don't want to say portable because this is a in-home device as opposed to one of those thumb DACs that are very popular for people that like to listen on their phone. Very similar in size to the classic J2 DAC from Coaxial Labs. This is smaller, a little heavier. It gets a lot hotter. It's got a nice big display, really nice knob feel, and I just love the build quality. I love the golden accents, great feet. This is going to be my last DAC review. I've just heard so many DACs in the last couple years that they all start to run together. For me, a DAC, again, is a tool. Something that I can connect to like a 10-year-old CD player. I have a 10-year-old Marantz CD player. And I'm just going to assume that an outboard DAC like the Coaxial J2 or like the LAIV Micro, which I'll now call it, I just assume that a modern, current outboard DAC, whether it be chip-based or R2R, is going to be better and produce a better sound because those CD players, those computers, are using outdated technology. But do I want to pay $20,000 for a DAC? Absolutely not. Do I want to pay $5,000 for a DAC? Absolutely not. Do I want to pay $1,000 for a DAC? Like the micro. Ooh, boy, I'm pushing the limits there. I can see where the quality has gone into this, the craftsmanship. When I show you pictures of the architecture inside, you're going to understand what you're paying for. Now, before we get into a detailed look of the micro, let me just try to break down in layman's terms how a chip-based DAC is different than an R2R DAC. Did I mention this is probably going to be my last DAC review? Chip-based DACs use a digital processing chip, say from AKM or ESS. There are other brands, of course. They convert the ones and zeros to analog sound that you can hear. And a lot of it isn't necessarily about the chip itself, but a lot of times how it's actually implemented. So don't go thinking that a DAC with a 4499 chip is going to sound the same as another DAC with a 4499 chip. It may not. They're super efficient, affordable, and accurate. It's kind of like a high-tech calculator doing math for your music. R2R DAC is short for resistor to resistor. It uses a ladder system of resistors to convert digital ones and zeros into analog sound. Think of it as a more manual process. For many audiophiles, they believe that an R2R DAC is more of a natural sound. It's more of an organic kind of conversion, as it were. They'll even go as far as to say they are more musical in their presentation. Again, all these are just words that we use to describe what many of us, well, I'm speaking for myself, don't completely understand. So when it comes to DACs, when it comes to R2R versus chip-based, no matter what I buy in this audio game, I'm always budget conscious. I'm trying to get the best bang for the buck. Well, let's explore this DAC and find out if the juice is worth the squeeze. I've been very lucky in that I've been able to listen to a lot of DACs thanks to the generosity of several manufacturers and retailers out there that loan them to me. And I feel like as a friend and as a presenter, my job is to present them to you and show them to you. My assessment is not the be-all, end-all. If you're taking anything that I say in that regard, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Get other people's opinions and figure out what component, what DAC in this case, is right for you. That's the best I can do for you. And I'm not going to ever lie to you and tell you something is, the be-all, end-all. You've got to rush out and get this. You would be a fool if you didn't get a certain component. I will never do that to you. And if I've done that to you in the past, I apologize. All right, I already told you I'm not very good at these DAC things. I think I've been mispronouncing the name of this brand this whole video. I think it's LAIV, but then again, the person that I heard review it and saying LAIV is from another country, so maybe it's just the accent. Is it LAIV? Is it LAIV? Is it LAIV? I think it's probably LAIV. But why didn't they spell it like LAIV? And is it WIM or is it WEAM? Now everybody's saying it's WIM. I'm so confused. All right. I just took a nap. I got up, cold shower, changed my shirt, got some electrolytes in me. I think I'm ready to continue. I'm 7 minutes in. I've hardly told you anything about the LAIV, the LAIV, the LIV, whatever. Who knows? Sweet mother of God, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Is my name even Bob anymore? Let's get into the details of this marvelous DAC. And no, this is not going to be my last DAC review. This is going to be my last review. Let's get into the DAC. All right, let's get the easy stuff out of the way. It comes in aluminum, black with gold trim. You can also get it in a silver and gold. It has tempered glass, which is nice. I don't think you're going to be dropping this one, but it just speaks to the build quality. It's a mere 2 inches tall with the feet, approximately 6.5 inches wide, and clearance-wise, you're going to need about 4¼ inches if you measure the knob and some of the connections in the back. Again, the LIV Micro, I'm calling it, is going to set you back $1,000. On the front, you have a selector knob and 2 buttons. One button's for the menu. The other one is to kind of change course or change directions as you're going through the menu. You've got the very clear display screen, which isn't on now. You have an on-off button, this nice kind of faceted surface here. That's one of the things I really like about the LAIV. It's just some of these angles going on. A little bit of curve, a little bit of facet here. You've got the name on top embossed, and then you've got the model embossed here on another angled panel. On the back, we have balanced analog outputs, I2S input, coax input, optical input, USB input, and a 15-volt power input. So tiny, R2R, balanced, really nice build quality. If this unit lives up to the specs and sound, I think it's going to be well worth the $1,000 for those that love and appreciate great sounding DACs. This is more old school. And like me, sometimes old school is good.
Not so good today, though.
Sometimes people refer to something like this as nostalgic. And again, the sound signature for many is warmer, richer, more natural sounding. So let's look inside the case to make you feel a little bit better about your $1,000 purchase. Some really beautiful architecture here, well thought out, at least in appearance. And while we're looking at stuff, let's check out the specs, supported formats, and resolutions. And here's some other supplied information from the manufacturer about dynamic range and signal to noise ratio and all that good stuff we say we like to get into. I guess one of the reasons why I wasn't an early adopter of standalone DACs is because I never have been much of a listen to music on my computer kind of person. That's not the kind of job I have. But for those of you that do listen to music at work, on your laptop, you're gonna love the form factor of the LAIV Harmony. Now, I tried this DAC out in all kinds of situations in multiple rooms with my CD players, embellishing the music from streamers with lesser DACs built in. But where I really used this a lot was on my bedside listening station. I like to listen to music at night while I'm reading or relaxing or just kicking back after a long day. And this fit nicely on top of my Gishelli Labs Archel Pro 3 headphone amplifier. Now, normally I would put my J2 there because it's a perfect fit, but this was a nice stack as well. And it gave me a good chance for the first time to hear what an R2R DAC is really all about. And I don't hate it. In fact, I like it a lot. All right, now I'm gonna give you my interpretation of the sound as I heard it. That doesn't mean necessarily that's how you're gonna hear this DAC or any component I might describe. But I found the sound of this live to be clean, very open, punchy, and like many have characterized R2R DACs, just a more natural kind of sound. Less technical, less digital. The mid-range is rich without being syrupy or sugary.
Take your pick.
And I didn't notice any artificial hype with the sound, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. The sound just seems to be in the pocket. Yeah, it made me tap my feet, and it gave me the ability to hear things in a lot of cases that I previously didn't hear in the music. Subtle nuance, more space, more air. Was it life-changing? No, I don't know if I would characterize any DAC as life-changing. But recently I was a guest on OCD Hi-Fi Guy's podcast, and he was talking about a $20,000 DAC that changed his life. I'm not there. I can't make it. I can't get there from here. But I'm glad he had that experience. But this was nice. Nice open sound, clean sound. I love the form factor. I love the little details, the artistic details, the embossing, the faceted angles, the gold touches. I think this is really nice and a step above. This transcends the Fun-Fi category. I don't even think it belongs in the Fun-Fi catalog. I think this is a great company that makes great components. You're not going to find any RCA outs here. And my only other really nitpicky thing, it was a little problematic, and every day I use this DAC, it gets a little easier, but I don't know if the navigation, the way the menus are set up and the way that the dials and buttons work, I just don't know if it's the easiest DAC to kind of program and lock in, you know. But once you get it in your listening position and set it up, you know, you can kind of forget about it and just enjoy it. But there is a learning curve, and maybe it's my own inadequacies, but you'll find yourself in a little bit of a learning curve here trying to get the settings right. And there are small amounts of adjustments you can make. NOS off, NOS on, that kind of thing. I don't get too bothered with that. I don't hear a lot of differences when it comes to stuff like that in digital filtering. That's just me. That's not you. You're better than me. You're more knowledgeable than me. But yeah, I had a wonderful experience. It made for a nice bedroom listening setup. And in that setup, I was using a WIM Mini. Or is it WIM? Now everybody's saying it's WIM. I'm so confused. Now, as far as comparisons, I have not had the opportunity to hear any Denafrips at all, and I think that's what most people are going to compare this to. I haven't heard a lot of other R2R DACs. I've heard a lot of Fun-Fi DACs that I get in from companies like SMSL and Duke Audio and things like that. And of course, my beloved Gishelli Labs DACs. You know, they're kind of the same and they're kind of different. Again, like a lot of audio equipment, we're talking about different flavors in speakers, different flavors in amps. Though I think when you get into flavors of DACs, it's not as profound, it's not as pronounced. And again, for me, I look at a DAC as a kind of tool. I may not always need it. I may not always want it, but there's times I want to do a little more hardcore listening. I want to dig a little deeper into the music, especially when I'm using headphones. And getting some DACs in your audio stable, again, gives you those opportunities to hear different things, find out what you like. Listen, this whole thing for us audiophiles is a journey. We all know different things. We all have different likes. We all have different experiences. I'm only sharing with you what I have an opportunity to listen to that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to listen to. That's why I'm here. I don't like to get too scientific because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm more of an artist brain. I'm more of an artist kind of guy. And so again, I'm always looking to connect to that music emotionally. And if you can do it with the LAIV Harmony, µDAC, 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 whatever it's being called today, then do it. Check it out if you get a chance. $1,000 online, maybe just a little south of that. And if you'd like to see another video, and I don't know why today you would do that. Not my best performance, but you know what? Some of you stuck it out, and I appreciate it.
And I'm going to hug you.
Right now, though, there's another video that I think the geniuses at YouTube have selected for you. You can watch it now or maybe look it up later, but it's going to pop up right here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one. I had a better day that day. We'll see you on a better day here in the United States of Analog. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in Milan, maybe. I'm not gonna reshoot.